Morning and welcome to the Chicago Central West Community Center. This facility, for those that don't know, was something that was envisioned by our last African-American mayor, Mayor Harold Washington, as a place for everyone to have a chance to participate in making our community a better place. One of the things that astounds me about this facility is that it's now, with the investments today, going back to the roots that I think that our mayor originally wanted to see for our community and wanted to see for the west side of Chicago. And so one thing we talk about, and we talk about individuals with disability, and with this being October being National Disability Awareness Month, is that we have to help to work to bring our disabled brothers and sisters out of the shadows. There was a time in families that your disabled cousin or brother stayed in the back room and never participated in the family and what was going on. But I'm glad to say today that those days and those things have changed, that now we want to have everyone giving them the same shot, same opportunities, and the investments that are being made here today signify that in a significant fashion. For an individual to be able to go up, do something positive, work, and be a productive part of society is something that everyone should have the opportunity to have and the opportunity to be. And I'm thankful of the investments that the mayor, MOPD, DCASE, and DFSS are making here on the west side of Chicago. It will help west side residents reach that full level, full potential of the realities that they want to see. So I'm glad to be here today, and I'm glad that the mayor and the commissioners are here to unveil this great investment and this great artwork. This, again, a collaboration across departments in our city to allow for the best of Chicago to take forward. And so without further ado, I want to introduce our mayor of the great city of Chicago, Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot.
Thank you, Alderman Irvin. I think we need a chair for him. Somebody can get that. All right. Oh, there you go. All right. So the Alderman and I have this running joke about the height of my podium. Looks fine to me. So good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here. I feel like every time I come to this building, something great happens. And today is one of those days. And during National Disability Employment Awareness Month, we're here to cut the ribbon on a new resource that will connect more of our residents to good-paying, sustainable jobs and get us that much closer to becoming the most accessible city in the country. You heard from Alderman Irving. You'll hear from Commissioner Rachel Arfa, the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. You're going to hear from other city commissioners, the DCASE Commissioner Erin Harkey, and Senior Services Deputy Commissioner Margaret Laraviere. You'll also hear from Chicago-based muralist Sam Kirk, and artist in residence Ariel Granados, and Little Village resident and poet Lily Diego Johnson. And I want to thank representatives from Eli's Cheesecake, which is graciously donating cheesecake for this event. Always a crowd pleaser. 35 years ago today, the building that we're in now was given a very special importance by our former late great Mayor Harold Washington. And it was dedicated by Mayor Washington and named the Central West Community Center, and represented Mayor Washington's vision for a central resource that community members could visit and receive the supports that they need to survive and to thrive. And though the name of the center has changed and shifted over the years, this vision that he conceived of back then remains as relevant and important today as ever. And we are here to make sure that that vision actually comes to fruition. I'm proud to be here to celebrate the completion of the MOPD Career Center, which will serve as a central resource to help residents with disabilities access jobs and career opportunities. And we'll work with employers to increase inclusive hiring practices and create pathways to employment opportunities, which is absolutely critical. This center will also provide the resources from both MOPD and represents a $1.2 million city investment in disability employment, which is a top priority for my administration. Employment of people with disabilities, as many of you know, has yet to make significant gains despite the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act 32 years ago. For instance, a mere 20% of people with disabilities are employed. Just think about that for a second. That is a staggering indictment of where we are, but it also creates a tremendous opportunity for where we can be. And on top of this, people with disabilities have experienced and continue to experience bias and discrimination, leading to closed doors and limited opportunities. I circulated to my team this morning an article from the Washington Post about an adult working in the DC area who got diagnosed later in life with autism, and where his employer consistently refused to make the necessary accommodations so that he could continue to work. He had been a very high-performing member of the team, and yet when he was diagnosed, suddenly everything changed. Well, we can't afford to have that happen in our city. If we're going to move forward, if we're going to really truly build an inclusive and equitable economy, people from the disability community need to be a part of the equation, and that's why we're here today, to make sure that that happens. So one strategy that we implemented to combat the barriers that people with disabilities face is we eliminated the sub-minimum wage for people with disabilities. I was new to this topic back in 2019, but as we were looking at a pathway to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour for everyone in our city, I was confronted with the historical relic of having a sub-minimum wage for people with disabilities. Again, one of those moments that you pause and you think, how is this possible? But it was. And it was perpetuated over and over again for the longest period of time. We eliminated that in 2019, and we've never looked back. And I think we are a better city for it. We became, I think, only the second big city in the country at that time to eliminate a sub-minimum wage for people with disabilities. Many of you know that this issue of disability rights and empowerment is very personal to me. My father was a deaf man, and having a high school degree, a profound disability, and being black limited his career opportunities exponentially. And as a consequence, for much of my growing up years, my father had to work 2 and 3 jobs to be able to help sustain our family. I imagine what the possibilities for his life would have been if there was a resource like this resource that we're announcing here today had been available for him and people like him. The trajectory of his life, but my family's life, might have been dramatically changed. And his story is not unlike the story that I hear from many people across our city who are struggling just to get a foothold in the economy. So for all of its challenges, also the pandemic created an abundance of job opportunities. So many, in fact, that there are not enough people to fill these new roles. Another opportunity for us to bring the disability community into the job market. So instead of letting this moment go by, and I really have to commend Commissioner Arfa and her leadership, who really sees the chance to deepen the city's investment in disability employment and encourage employers across our region to increase hiring from this community. This led to the launch of this center back in July, which was the 32nd anniversary of the ADA. And now during Disability Employment Awareness Month, we're gathered here to celebrate the official opening of the center's physical space, which is just adjacent to us. The state-of-the-art center is complete with private space for job seekers to meet skilled career placement counselors, a brand new role created here in the city to provide individuals with employment services in person or virtually as they like. The center also includes computer workstations and adaptive technology so that job seekers with disabilities who lack the internet can work on their resume and apply for jobs right here at this center. You can clap for that. And job seekers who are age 16 or older and identify as having a disability and live in our city can tap into the bounty of the center's resources, as well as any student with disability who attends one of our city colleges. And as of September 22nd, the center has served 65 clients, and we want to increase that number exponentially because we know the need out there is great. So please, folks, spread the word. But in this short time, 10 clients served by the center have already applied for and earned jobs. And we look forward to even more successes in the near future and encourage employers to work with MOPD Career Center on creating job pathways. In the meantime, the center staff will work with companies on inclusive hiring practices and provide technical assistance. I also encourage Chicago businesses to join me in this effort by making a commitment to hiring more people with disabilities. Making our city more accessible has to be done, and it can be done. We see that happening every single day. We just got to be intentional and thoughtful about making it happen. And that's why collaboration and unity are recurring themes in a center. These themes are perhaps best illustrated by the beautiful mural that really enlivens this space. This mural, painted by the talented, internationally known muralist Sam Kirk, who happens to be here in our city, provides a visual narrative about what it means to be a person with a disability of any age or a senior. And not only the result of a collaboration between MOPD, DCASE, and DFSS, but also collaboration between SAM and several disability community members who attended community engagement sessions hosted by MOPD to ensure resident feedback was incorporated in the design of the mural. The mural features accessibility elements such as tactile aspects and is a final product of that teamwork. So I want to say thank you to Sam for working with the community and our city departments to create this beautiful piece of art. To continue building bridges between city government and community members through the power of art, MOPD, DFSS, the Department of Family and Support Services, and DCASE also sponsored an artist in residence to be based here from October of this year to June of next year. And that artist is Ariel Granados. Go ahead. Who is a Latina visual artist who identifies as having a disability. And let's give her another round of applause. And we look forward to the work that Ariel will also be creating. So in my last words here is, there are too many people in our community that have been left in the shadows for way too long. And the disability community has been one of them. Not that you've been quiet, not that you've allowed yourself to be relegated to anything other than full serving residents and members of our community, but we in the able community have to do more. We have to do more to be partners, we have to do more to build bridges, and we have to do more to acknowledge the challenges that you face and work collaboratively with you to make sure that we overcome those barriers. And today, I think, is a testament to what that means, what that looks like in tangible, concrete ways. And I'm honored to be a part of this work. And I think the person that I will call to the podium next really does deserve a hearty round of applause and thanks, because she has just broken through so many barriers, making sure that we are educated as a city government, that we are doing more, and that we understand the challenges truly that people in the disability community face, but not just raising our sensitivity, doing things concretely to make sure that we're breaking down those barriers and those silos that have prevented this community from really being a full part of the richness of our city. And that person, of course, is none other than our great Commissioner Rachel Arfa. Rachel.
Thank you so much, Mayor Lightfoot, and thank you so much for your leadership of the work that we do to make the city more accessible is made possible through your leadership. So about that. I also want to thank Commissioner Harkey of the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Affairs. It's been phenomenal working with you and your team to bring out to this building, so thank you. And I also want to thank Alderman Urban for being here, for your support. We really appreciate all of your support in making sure that we serve our residents, including people with disabilities, in every one of our 77 communities. I want to also really thank all of the commissioners. The department has networked with across the city. We all work together to make the city more accessible, not just in this room, not just in this space, but citywide. And one of the ways that we did that was last year we created an access officer structure, which named a point person on accessibility for every single department. And so we are all collectively working together to make Chicago the most accessible city in the nation. Then I also want to name partners and neighbors here, the Department of Family and Support Services, who we share this space with as well. I like how they surprised. This is great. This is, Mayor Lightfoot shared the phenomenal news that 10 people have already got their jobs through a career center. I would like to name the first person that got a job through our effort, who's sitting right here at the front row. His name is Byron Henderson. And Byron came to us, and he worked with our councilor, Jocelyn from Masanta, and shortly after that, he got a job on intelligence here. So congratulations. I also want to thank all of our career center staff. Through our city investment, we were able to hire a staff, a whole team. So I would love for our program director and our career placement counselor and Deputy Commissioner Christina McLean, Lauren Huberman, Jessica from Masanta, Carly, Rowe, and Jean Raven. Thank you so much for your work. And I also want to thank my entire team at the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. Thank you so much for your dedication every day for your public service. I am going to honor a member of our team, Eric Lopez, who passed away on Wednesday of this week. And Eric worked here at the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities for 20 years. And he was a benefits counselor, and he was such an important advocate for employment and helping people with disabilities get jobs and learn how to work while maintaining benefits. And he was one of the most excited people about our new career center initiative, and he also provided so much feedback and insight about how we could represent disability at this more. And I'm really sorry that he could not be here today, and I want to thank him for his service. And I've heard from so many people how helpful and valuable he was. We all mourn his loss. With that, the world would not have been possible without the vision of Sam Clark. And Sam, I've known so much through working with Sam. We held community engagement session with the disability community, with seniors, with the kids. And after every one of those sessions, Sam went back to her design and added new elements and wanted to make sure that our visuals were authentic and that they helped advance the narrative of disability representation as well as seniors. So thank you so much, Sam. And I be the proud of working with the congratulations of being named our artist in residence. And finally, I am here to introduce you to Lily D. Charleston. You may have noticed a poem that was included at the Moon, and Lily has never allowed anybody to publish her poetry, but she gave permission for those words to be on our wall for all to see. And to me, they represent a new narrative and energy about what it means to be a person with a disability and about the potential. So Lily is a disabled, cisgender immigrant woman from Chicago's Southwest Side. She's a licensed social worker, and she provides mental health counseling through a disability lens, and she's guided by the vision of disability justice in both her personal and her professional life, and writing in the form of advocacy for our social change for Lily. So help me welcome Lily, and she will be reading her poem. Are you okay? So on the stage, it's right here. Come.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Yes. Okay, perfect. This is one of the poems that was incorporated into the mural from the excerpts that were used. So I am reading the one that was most used. A lot of the excerpts come from this one. The title is Disability Pride. I taste disability pride when it burgeons from my stomach, through my throat, on my tongue, as I cheer and clap, listening to audio descriptions of disabled dancers comfortable in their bodies, expressing the pleasures of their stories and the existing intimacy with their mobility devices. Weep as my friend uses her voice to share my own racing thoughts and growing questions of what it means to be disabled. I see disability pride in the way we move to create access for different body minds, not just to be included, but to show we're already here. Access this imperfect, messy art that we hone with our collective disability wisdom. I touch disability pride in the hand of my disabled love as we move through a world that does not often expect us. We are queer, we are Black, Indigenous, disabled people of color, groping for each other to hold on to our cultures, traditions, our humanity. Exhausted yet existing because we know in our core we belong. I smell disability pride in the way we strive for fragrance-free, breathing in the ableism we fight to unlearn, inhaling dreams, exhaling hopes for our disabled futures. I hear disability pride in the moments we gather, the stories we tell, the ways we communicate and build community, activism, advocacy. I follow disability pride into my aching bones, into the online connections that help me survive, into the sticky points of my experiences, and the moments disability pride does not apply to parts of our communities. When we do not feel it in ourselves, or when we search for it in the spirals of grief and loss, we have come to know the intricacies of disability pride. Thank you.
think, Sam, you're next, or I'm introducing you? Okay. Switch up the program. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, Alderman Irvin, Commissioner Arfa. I'm Erin Harkey, Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, also known as DCASE, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today. I'm going to be brief. There's not much more that I can kind of add that hasn't been said by our leadership, but I just want to take a minute to extend my personal thanks on behalf of my colleagues to our artists. I want to thank you, Sam. It's been a pleasure for the DCASE team to work with you during this process. You brought a lot of care and sensitivity to this project and took the challenge as a true learning experience. And now this fantastic multi-sensory mural will be on display for all of Chicagoans to enjoy. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. I also want to thank you, Lily, for sharing your words to this project, and welcome Ariella, our newest artist in residence. When I say that we are excited and ecstatic about your selection, it would be an understatement, and we can't wait to see what creative, inspiring, real, beautiful, and humorous and unique things that you create. Congratulations. So the mayor and I have been on a little bit of a tour, a roll in the past couple of weeks, talking about our approach to arts integration across city government and the benefits and potential of this work to lead to real transformational change. Whether it's our partnership with the Department of Planning and Development to integrate the arts into our community and economic development initiatives, or working with libraries to activate our communities with free cultural programs, or work with our public health team to engage artists to find creative ways to educate the public, you're seeing expanded opportunities for creatives and are serving the public good at the same time. You're also seeing an unprecedented amount of spending, the most in the city's history, through an increased grants budget, which is now giving out nearly 5 times as much in support for artists and organizations that it has in previous years, and through our public art program that will see new projects integrated into our streetscapes, our airports, and other civic facilities throughout our city. This partnership with the Central West Center and MOPD and DFSS is a new, exciting direction, and we're happy to be working together to expand access and participation in the arts, supporting artists and creative workers, and investing in arts infrastructure, which will pay dividends for our residents and our communities for years to come. We hope that you all will stay tuned over the next couple of months and visit the Central West Center to participate in the activities that Ariella, our new artist in residence, will create in this space. And now I want to bring up Sam Kirk, and thank you all for being here.
Hello, everyone. I feel like I have just a ton of thank yous to give. Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot. Thank you, Commissioner Arfa. Thank you, Erin Harkey. The entire DCASE team, MOPD team, DFSS team, the disabled community, the Central West Community Center members. This was a project that integrated community like no other that I've done, truly. From the very beginning, when we first started to develop the workshops and have the conversations, it started off, a little bit of what I'm used to or what's similar to me. But then as we moved along, I found that there was so much more for me to learn, and doing my own research wasn't going to be enough. So having, deeper conversations and looking at examples, working with translators to make sure that the sign language on the piece was exactly correct, and then also working with the animation side of it to bring the lenticulars to life. Like, there was just a lot that went into it, and I really, really appreciate the collaboration that was had in all of us working together. Thank you, Lily. Your poetry could not be more of a perfect pairing. I think it really helped to bring the mural together, and the way that it bookends the piece is just awesome. It's an honor to include your work. And I just also wanted to say that, a lot of my work is often about celebrating and making sure that representation is included within the public art in our city. And this piece was definitely about that, but there was so much more in it that was significant in making sure that it was truly engaging and interactive. So there were specific color palettes that we used, and the tactile surfaces that were referenced were really important to make sure that every member of the disabled community could find a way to interact with this piece. And I really hope to hear from you all to see if I achieved, what we discussed, and if you're happy with the work that's presented here for us all today. I think this work is a reflection of all of our voices. As I said, it was a true collective creative team that put this together, and I definitely want to thank my studio team, Ann, Nancy, Juan, Sergio, Allison, Jenny. It's not just me, I'm the only artist physically up here, but there's a whole team of artists that helped to bring that to life. It took us 2 months to complete, and I'm really proud of it. I hope that you all are proud of your contribution in making this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. I have one other thank you. That is to Adam Summer of SOM Architects. SOM has provided a pro bono conceptual design for this building, including advising us at the Career Center design. So Adam and your team, thank you so much for the hours you spent with us. And now I'm so thrilled to share that we are going to cut the ribbon at the Career Center. So I'm going to have a team come up, and me and Lightfoot and I will cut the ribbon.